Boom. Oh no. There we go. Now I got the windows up. Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode, the BCS Sports Show. And happy first day of NBA playoffs day, everyone.
Lakers suck. It's over.
Yeah, you're only down 17 right now. It's getting better. It's not good, but it's getting better.
We're gonna get swept by the T-Wolves.
I don't think so. That's gonna be a series, though. I think it's gonna be a good series. It's LeBron. You have LeBron
and Luka.
And Luka. True. You do. So.
And then in the offseason, we'll get Jokic. So it's all good.
I don't know. We won today. Hey, we're undefeated.
I know, but now he doesn't have as much pull in him back to Denver, and he has a good buddy in LA. So.
I honestly think he has more pulling him in Denver now because it doesn't have to do him alone anymore. Personally, I don't know. But did you guys watch any of the games today or no?
I watched the end of the Nuggets Clippers game.
Nice.
And then I haven't really been able to watch. I've just been keeping up with scores.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I watched most of the Knicks game.
Oh, who won that? I didn't watch any of that.
The Knicks went on a 24-0 run in the fourth to win.
Did they really? Oh man. I want the Pistons to win.
And let's just say the A1 ESPN team was loving life on that one.
Well, yeah, isn't Stephen A. Smith a Knicks fan? So.
Yeah, and Mike Breen's their normal play-by-play guy.
Yeah, that's right, he is. Yeah. Man, that's kind of crazy. I do like the Pistons' chances in that, but they are a super young team, so I guess it's not surprising they would blow a lead and give up a 24-0 run. So, but yeah, the Nuggets game was probably the worst thing I've ever watched in some ways. Avalanche just scored, by the way. They were winning 2-0.
I thought it was tied.
It
was the game before it. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. The Avs game, you got to see the great highs of Russell Westbrook and then the greatest of lows with Russell Westbrook in
the Avs game.
The Avalanche game, yeah.
Wait, Russell Westbrook in the Avalanche?
No, sorry. I have the Avs game on my phone right now, and they literally just scored on the power play.
That's why I was trying to make a joke at first, and then now I'm like,
no.
I was like, wait, what am I on? It's like you asked before we started. Am I high?
Right, yeah. No, sorry. My brain is also watching the Avalanche game, so it's because they're playing the Stars right now.
It was just funny that when I questioned you, the Avalanche? The Avs? You were like, yeah, the Avs. I was like, Russell Westbrook's playing hockey?
I mean, you know what? I would love to see him as a hockey player. Because he would be one of those demons just checking dudes all over the ice, I think. He'd be incredible. I don't know. But yeah, Russell Westbrook. Back to Nuggets guard Russell Westbrook. Yeah, he it was tough watching him not get a shot off on that last possession. But then he also has great defensive plays and hits the three to tie it in the fourth quarter. So yeah, it worked out, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. So I guess what do you guys want to talk about this week? Do you guys have any burning topics? Do we want to go over NFL draft?
What the hell is ESPN? We sort of briefly talked about this, but it's going back to what the hell is ESPN doing?
In terms of getting rid of their good shows and keeping their bad shows?
Just in general.
General.
What are we doing? So I had an interesting thought.
Okay.
And it sort of hankers back to a month ago. Or I shouldn't say a month ago, but I guess the Tuesday with the whole Jackie Robinson thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a rationale when I was watching an episode from That's Good Sports sort of talking about the ESPN problem.
Mm-hmm.
And it dawned on me why I think the majority of people probably now hate it more than ever. because there are no separators anymore. Everyone's everywhere, and everyone's giving their opinion on everything and anything.
So you're talking like specific...
now you have Stephen A. Smith hanging out with like Bill Maher, all those guys. Former ESPN employee Jamel Hill's on CNN. I mean, heck, even Stephen A's on with Bill O'Reilly and Cuomo. You got Levitard sneaking into the politics sphere. Former ESPN employee Pablo Torre does stuff with guys who are in the political sphere. So where you would go to get away from it is now in the center of it. And I had the realization earlier today of this is why guys like Mad Dog, The Godfather, why like these old heads are still around. Because they'll yell about a bun from July in September, and it still angers them.
That is true. They keep it to sports because a lot of people do use sports as an escape from real world shit. Like,
and mind you, it doesn't bother me when they get to it, but I think the thing that's just funny is when the lines are so blurred now.
Yes, they are.
Where it's no longer a thing where it's just like Sports Center is a shadow of it. Like we talked about this, it's a shadow of itself.
Yeah, it's not what it used to be.
And I know part of it too is I remember reading something years ago talking about how producers are now like back end producers are swapping that sphere too, which doesn't help. That's why you see a lot of debate shows.
Yeah,
is apparently that's why, because that's all cable news networks are.
That's true. They are only debate shows, which kind of sucks.
Which is part of it.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, obviously,
a shit ton, and plus too, I recommend if you haven't watched That's Good Sports, sort of talking about it. He nailed it. Where it's like all the podcasts they do,
right?
Like Shannon Sharp's podcast with Ocho, Pat McAfee does really really well. Like the one things where it's hijinks, I guess, still work really really well. But I don't think anyone wants to stay in that sphere anymore.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, there's been talk of Stephen A. Smith like running for president and stupid crap like that. Like, I don't know. I think that's definitely a part of it. It doesn't help too that like there isn't. They end up just rehashing the same debates over and over and over again because they are debate shows now. Like,
I didn't know this was a thing until I literally watched it. I guess they were trying to compare Ovechkin's goals beating Wayne Gretzky's goal scoring record to LeBron's points record.
Interesting.
On First Take after it happened, was it last weekend or 2 weekends?
Yeah, it was like 2 weekends ago. Yeah,
and they were like. And they're trying to be like, oh, which one's more impressive? And I'm like, the hockey one?
Yeah. I mean,
probably.
Thing is, like, they're both impressive. But yeah, to me, hey, Bryce, you're muted.
He's muted.
All right. Uh-oh.
He clicked something.
Something broke.
And he's the thing about it. He produces news broadcasts, and he can't figure out which mic he's going to.
That's
okay. There we go. No,
we can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah, I reset my Logitech G Hub stuff because it still was recognizing my Yeti mic, and I wanted to go back to having my voice sound like this.
Yeah.
Hey, I had to do that earlier.
It's a little bit better.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
It wasn't recognizing my Yeti, even though I'd recognized it for years. So I
nice.
Hey, I had to do that earlier.
But then once I reinstalled it, it worked. So
nice.
I had to do that earlier.
See, or crazy, yeah. It's just it was funny because I dealt with it 3 weeks, or I tried to deal with it like 3 weeks ago when we last had the podcast, and then I just forgot about it for the next few weeks, and then I was like, oh wait, I still want this.
Yeah, I mean, we did take a couple weeks off, to be fair. So, oh, well, the robots here now. The gremlins are here. Don't feed them.
CJ's again.
Don't feel.
What's that?
The gremlins are back. Don't feed them. Don't feed them after midnight.
Yeah, that's true.
Here, wait. I'll make you really seem like you're high. There you go.
Oh yeah, there we go. That is some
really
stuff.
Now you're really seeing stars.
Hell yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Damn, that's tough. That one's tough. It's a good thing I don't have epilepsy, dude.
It's fine. Look directly into it.
No. It reminds me.
By the way, I just remembered I still need to work on the specs, so I need to work on some transitions.
Yeah, someone hasn't done the stinger, so I'm still stuck using this hold on. I'm still stuck using this.
Hey, that's not bad.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Doesn't fit anything, but yeah.
That was also mine.
That was his.
Hell yeah.
But I'll get it. I'll get that.
I'll
stay here.
There.
Borderlands 2 gameplay. Let's go.
Yeah, pretty sure I got lit on fire.
Yeah, it sure looks like you're about to.
I'm about to get lit on fire. Let's see. Maybe I don't. I thought I did. I digress. Transition over.
It's all good. But yeah, I don't know. Like we talked about the ESPN thing, but it's tough. And that should part of it too is I think a lot of the stuff ESPN used to do has moved into YouTube and podcasts. Like ESPN as a show network is not for the young. No one young watches it. It's all the older people.
It's gonna be a sad day when PTI gets canceled.
Right. Which I don't think we're too far away from that day. They got rid of Around the Horn. And
to be fair though, Around the Horn I think was I like Around the Horn, but I think with Around the Horn it got too serious for itself.
Did it?
I watched a recent episode and I thought I think it's like okay, because when we watched it, we had guys like
Woody Page.
Yeah. You had Kalashaw. You had Gasbag stick up his ass, Bill Plaschke.
Yep.
And then Tony Reality.
Mm-hmm.
So the majority of the guys didn't take themselves seriously, other than Gasbag Bill Plaschke.
Right.
Because Bill Plaschke thinks he's Jesus to Bill Plaschke. But it was one of those things where you would get the wacky, crazy takes from Woody Page and his chalkboard.
Yeah, his chalkboard is great.
So it would balance out the journalism, and there's no balancing out the journalism anymore. It's all a hardcore journalist.
Yeah.
It's no longer I gotta oh, what do you think? Oh, I miss the days of just outrageous takes on that show.
Yeah, man, old school Around the Horn was sick. But yeah, I'd imagine PTI is probably next, especially because Kornheiser and Wilbon they're close to retirement age. They're in their 70s at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's does Tony real? I mean, it's gonna be Tony more than Wilbon.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah.
When does Tony gets to be like, dude, I just want to play golf?
Well, the thing is, Tony Kornheiser's been just kind of. I don't want to say he's been phoning it in, but for the long, I think isn't that show only in Washington? Isn't it filmed in DC? Because Tony Kornheiser doesn't want to move. I feel like that's the reason why it's been in DC for so long. Because Kornheiser's like, no, I'm not moving to Bristol. So
I think so.
I don't know. We'll see though.
I don't know. I think it might be filmed there because of that.
I thought it was, but I could be wrong.
But I know for a while. I still love the whole the Canadian flag thing.
The what?
What? Tony waving the Canadian flag.
Oh, is that what he does now?
No, he's done that forever. Where he waves the Canadian flag and says "Goodnight, Canada."
Oh, I guess he did, huh? It's been so long since I've watched any of those shows. I mean, maybe that's why they're getting canceled, because we don't watch them anymore. Yeah.
It's filmed in ABC's Washington's DC bureau.
Right. Yeah, it's because Kornheiser and Wilbon were writing for the Washington Post when it started.
Correct.
So, all right. Well, ESPN history, I guess.
I think Wilbon still does write for them, right?
Does he? I didn't think he did, because he does NBA stuff now on ESPN, and he has for a while. But Yeah, he hasn't written for the Washington Post since 2010.
Oh, okay.
I mean, newspaper's dead anyway, so it's probably a good call by him.
Yeah, I will admit the funniest thing I've ever heard Tony Kornheiser do was go on another podcast so that the old man who another columnist, Greg Cody, could win a bet with his son that he could never get Tony Kornheiser on as a guest.
Wait, what? That's why he...
So for the longest time, they kept saying, like, oh, they would love to get Tony Kornheiser on, but because on the flagship show that his son produces, he's been told Tony's not one of those guys who will do things like that.
Right.
But somehow or another, I think someone told Tony that, hey, his son has a bet, his dad has the father son have a bet that you won't do anything. So he went on the show to basically spite him and be like, yeah, win one for the old man, saying I wouldn't do anything.
That's incredible.
And it was legit just out of spite. It was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh boy.
All right, well, the Lakers are only down 13 right now. They're coming back.
Coming back.
Coming back.
I mean, it's LeBron and Luka. You just never know when this game's going to be over.
Yeah, and on the other side, you have Anthony Edwards, who is incredible, but will also try to do some...
a little bit hurt earlier, so...
Oh, did he really? Okay.
Yeah, he took a hard fall to the floor and had to leave, but
damn.
I think he came back.
That sucks.
Yeah, well... As long as the Lakers win, I mean, I'd be happy.
Like, whatever.
Well, even if they were down by like 19 at one point.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards is playing right now, so he's back.
Yeah. So yeah, he left for a little bit, and he's taking I always say this. I know there's only one person who's ever done it, and that's Paul Pierce. But I always compare anybody who leaves and comes back. I'm like, oh, you're Paul Pierce in it.
Right.
Well, Paul Pierce pooped himself, so.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. You know what? To be fair, Lamar Jackson did like 2 years ago too.
Paul Pierce also left on a freaking wheelchair.
That's what made his rough.
That's how bad he pooped himself. That's how bad he pooped himself, man. It was explosive diarrhea.
It was though. There's pictures to prove that shit.
What? That he pooped himself?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really?
There are. Yeah, there's pictures that show the stain as he's getting carried off the floor. Because of the angle where he's getting carried. Yeah, no, it's...
Wait, no, there's not.
I'm pretty sure there is, yeah. And maybe they're photoshopped, but I like to believe they're true.
Oh my god.
I hope it's true.
I am pretty sure it's true.
Quote, I spray my MC, won't believe them rumors. I had to go to the bathroom. At one point, he did say he shit himself.
He did, yeah. He literally tweeted it. Like...
Oh, did he?
Yeah. And then he followed it up with saying, no, I didn't do it. So, like, I don't know. Honestly, that dude is always faded, so who knows what's real and what's not for him, so... Alright.
Oh, man. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Lakers still down 13. But...
Yeah, you got time,
there's a picture where apparently there's a poo stain.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen...
On the Ringer of all places.
Oh, the Ringer's where it's at. That's where real sports media is nowadays.
Apparently there is a poo stain.
So funny. All right, Luka's got 37 right now. He is so good.
That's why the Lakers are going to win the championship, so...
Maybe.
Maybe. Nuggets fans would hate their lives if the Lakers got Luka in one season.
It would suck.
Nothing, and I loved that Anthony Davis actually did almost carry the Mavericks too.
Yeah, and I feel so bad for AD. He got put in an impossible situation, but he is awesome. Like,
well, that's the thing is the Lakers were having a pretty good season before they realized, because that's definitely a trade for the future. Like,
1,000%.
It's a trade for now too. Like, don't get me wrong. You're not sitting there getting Luka now and going, ugh, well, we'll deal with it for a couple of years until he's a good thing for us. But no, it was good for now. But it was definitely more thinking of future, because trading Luka and AD, it's like, yeah, you get better as the Lakers, but maybe not by as much as you would think because of the trade-off defensively.
Yeah, it's like their team is so much more imbalanced than it was. You guys don't have any forwards or centers.
But it was definitely a trade for the future, and it was one of those things where it's like, give Anthony Davis, I was about to say Edwards, give him a year or two of being in Dallas, and he's all of a sudden going to be just injured beyond repair. So
yeah, I feel bad for Anthony.
Whereas Luka's going to be, the greatest player in the world after LeBron retires, and he'll carry the Lakers to 5 more championships in this decade.
Maybe the second best player in the world. I don't know about all the championships either. Just there's still the Serbian guy.
I mean, once Jokic comes to LA, it's.
That was another thing we talked about.
We talked about
Lakers homer Ramona Shelburne basically said it's not happening.
Yeah, Jokic is more likely to retire than go to any big market team. He hates the media. He does not want to be in LA or New York. Like, he would be the one player that's like, I would demand a trade to San Antonio.
Yeah.
If he ever, which I don't think he would ever demand a trade, but.
He might.
I don't think so. Again, we talked about this. He sees himself more as an employee than a guy that's running the team, compared to, most other superstars, LeBron, KD. Like, I don't know.
He's just gonna retire in the offseason and go with his horses.
That was my thought. I'm genuinely worried that might happen.
He might just hang out with us.
Yeah. Because he loves Serbia way more than he loves here. Like, I could see him retiring and pulling like a Jaromir Jagr.
What if he just like went to a Serbian national Serbian pro league?
Yeah, that's what I was
dominate here.
That's what I was thinking. Like, pull a Jaromir Jagr, like just retire from the NBA early and just go spend 10 years playing in. Like, Jagr played in like the KHL or whatever for 10 years, like starting at the age of like 34. Like, I could see Jokic doing something similar. Like, he's still like all-star level.
Probably make almost as much money, playing just wherever he wants to play, like whatever country he wants to play.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter.
He get teams that even if the contract said $3 million, the owners secretly under the table just going, here's $40 million.
They'd be like, here's an endorsement for $40 million. Like, yeah. They started selling his energy drink in Denver, and I got one the other day. I haven't drank it yet, but he has his own line of energy drinks in Serbia. Like, shit like that. Like, he'll make all the money he wants. No problem. All right. Do we want to talk NFL draft? Because that starts Thursday.
I know CJ and I will be on probably at the back end of that.
Probably, yes. What time does that start?
5.
Okay. So yeah, we'll be live during like the picks, like probably 17 through 25 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta look at it.
It'll be interesting, I guess, and it'll be interesting for you, CJ, because you'll get to see where Shedeur and Hunter go.
Yeah, I think Hunter's easy. He's gonna go top 3.
I will say this. I did have a conversation with someone on Twitter, because the quote came out from Travis Hunter was like, I only want to go somewhere where they're gonna let me play both sides of the ball.
Right. Yeah.
And the guy was making the point like, okay, if you do that, you're gonna be injured in a few years. I was like, yeah, probably. But if anybody could do it, Travis Hunter probably would be the one that
he's one of the few, that could do it.
if he could. But my thing is like, yeah, I would caution Hunter, like if he finds that he's just not able to, I'd caution him against pushing too hard in that direction, because you can end up like Shohei, and eventually you're just not able to play on one side of the ball because.
Thing is, though, at least with the NFL, I feel like it's much easier to play one side of the ball part-time. Like, he could be your number one corner. He plays, 90% of the snaps on defense. And then you have a sub package where he plays like 10 to 15 plays on offense. He's still playing both sides of the ball, but he's not taking all of those hits on offense.
Sound like what he's saying he wants either.
True.
So yeah, if he gets what he wants, he's injured in a few years.
If he's playing 100% of snaps on both sides of the ball like he did at Colorado, yeah, he's probably going to be hurt. But I don't know, because even in Colorado, he had a couple injuries, got banged up. Like he got hurt in the CSU game, not this last year, but the year before, where he ended up missing like 3 or 4 games. So like, yeah, he's going to get hurt if he plays both sides of the ball like full time. But I don't know. To me, it makes sense. Like if you're gonna draft him, you might as well try to have him play both sides. I don't understand why you wouldn't. He's young enough. He is really good at not getting hit very hard. Like
you necessarily don't let him try at both sides. My point is he eventually I think needs to say like, okay, I am an elite. I'm an elite corner.
Yep.
Like let's stick with that full time.
Right.
Or he needs to say, I think I can push it further as a wide receiver. Stick with that because I like that constant like tackling and constant being tackled.
Mm-hmm.
That would take a toll. Like I'm sure it's already taken a toll on his body in college.
Yeah,
let alone
definitely
going to the NFL where these guys are often 3 times the size.
Right. The thing is though, like. I would bet too, though, like, offensively, as a wide receiver, the most demanding part of your job probably is more of, like, run blocking more so than anything. So I wonder if it's a case where, yeah, he's a full-time wide receiver, but you essentially, in any situation where you're going to run the ball, you just straight up, like, hey, you're not in on this play. You're subbing out just because, like, know.
But can you do that? Can you do that? Because then all of a sudden, all the defense is going. Oh, Hunter's off the field.
Well,
okay, they're running it.
Right, and you'd have to mix in times where they throw when he's not on the field, and probably mix in some where he is maybe not run blocking at all. Like he just kind of like chills and like I don't know. It definitely isn't very interesting situation he'll end up being in. Because I'm very curious to see how it works out.
Can make it work? It's him.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like with Shohei, it worked until it didn't.
His arm, until his arm blew up.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's the thing. It's like it works and then it just stops working. Like
no, you're right. Yeah.
There's a point where you wonder. Like you start to go, well, maybe there's a reason we've been doing things the way we've been doing them for years. You've got so many guys that have come into any of these leagues where like you have specialized talents,
right?
And you have these guys who you got position players that were pretty good pitchers in high school and some even in up into college, but it's like they got to a certain point where they were playing at such a high level they picked what they were best at and said, this is what I'm going to do. And the reason is because we've, found that, we're finding with Shohei that can't exactly make it work 100% of the time. Even if Shohei's going to try to take that third Tommy John, or what? So what is he on 2 Tommy John surgeries?
He had 2. Yeah, he had 2 Tommy John surgeries.
Yeah, he basically can't have any more. If he throws out his arm again, like that's it for pitching.
He's all out of UCLs to use, basically. Though, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I wonder though.
I'll be curious, but it's almost like, do we do this because that's what we've all grown accustomed to, or are we doing this because there's a good reason behind why we do things the way we do them?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and the only thing I'd say is I think a lot of the times we're doing it that way where you specialize early is because, you're good at 2 things and you're great at one thing and good at another. You're more likely to make the league or whatever focusing on that one thing you're great at. Whereas like Shohei and Travis Hunter are both these guys that are great at 2 things, like generational type great at 2 things. So I wonder if that has to play a part in it where he's not just a good pitcher. He is a great pitcher. He's not just a good wide receiver. He's a great wide receiver. I don't know. Maybe to me, I think part of it is just like the level of talent those 2 guys have.
That is the thing, though. Is it's like at the NFL level, I'm curious if that will have an effect in terms of him being able to be as good as he can be at one of the two given positions.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I guess maybe
because
if he focuses on one, he's probably going to hit a higher ceiling at that one thing.
Yes, he did it in college, and he did it this one. He did it through a full season this past season.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wonder, like he had games where he didn't have to necessarily face the biggest guys, face the fastest guys.
Oh yeah, no, we weren't playing in the SEC. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and he was playing some
good teams,
decent defenses in the Big 12. Like Utah had really good defense, except Colorado smoked Utah's defense, so that was kind of fun for me. But there's a couple defenses here and there, but he didn't have to do it week in and week out. That doesn't happen in the NFL. Even the worst team has bigger and better defenders than the best college teams.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, the worst NFL teams still have studs.
O linemen or offensive guys that he's gonna have to go up against, and so it's just like I'm curious. I'm not ruling him out. I'm saying I'm curious. I do have my doubts, I would say, but I'm not against letting him give it a go. It's just I feel like there's a good chance if he pushed too hard, he's either gonna ruin one of the positions he could have been like a legendary player at, or he's gonna just hurt himself to the point where he's not nearly as good anymore because he ruptured his ACL twice.
Right.
Sort of thing.
We'll see. I guess when it comes to the NFL draft, I know me and Spects talked about it on Thursday, but Bryce, who do you think is going to go number 1 overall?
Probably Cam Ward.
Okay, we agreed. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Cam Ward, I think, is the move.
Originally, I mean, when we were going into towards the end of the season during the college football season, it seemed like it was going to be what's Shedeur, right? Wasn't there a good portion that was like the consensus?
I think he's always been one of the top ranked. I don't know if I'd have to look back to see who people thought was going to go number 1 overall before the season started.
It seems like Cam Ward really helped his draft stock. Seems like Shedeur's draft stock during the combine process wasn't as good as it could have been. But I mean, who's he projected to get drafted by? That's my question. What does the mock drafts look like?
The one I've seen recently, and it's been a while since I've looked at one, was the Saints at number 9. But this one on CBS has him going number 2 to Cleveland. So it seems to be in that range of anywhere from 2 to 15,
1,
basically.
Hunter 2, Shedeur 3.
Okay, yeah. I'm looking at another one that's Shedeur at 6 to the Raiders. So to me, the Shedeur seems to be the wild card in all of this. Where
I'm just trying to look up any what's it called? Any teams that you don't want to be drafted by, and the only one in that first round right now is the Jets. You don't want Shedeur going to the Jets.
Probably not.
Though I think culturally, in terms of New York, I think he'd fit in.
He would love New York.
The media would probably just love him anyways.
Yeah.
No matter what he did. To some extent, obviously, they'd eventually turn their backs on him. But
as New York media does.
I'm just trying, and I think honestly, I'm trying to think who you would want to go to if you're looking at these first 8 or 9 picks. I think the Saints are one of the better. That's what you would want. Is the Saints is? I feel like they're just a couple of pieces away from being a competitive team.
Honestly, who do the Giants?
The Bears. If you're Travis Hunter, you would probably want the Bears, but he's not going to fall to 10.
Mm-mm.
No, yeah, and the Bears wouldn't draft him anyway.
I think New England might be a good pick.
Yeah, but that one too though is like New England wouldn't pick him just
floor?
because they have Drake May.
He might.
The one I think might be the New York Giants.
Giants would be interesting because it sort of goes back to kind of what you and I were talking about on Friday. Yeah, Thursday,
yeah.
When we were talking about like teams that could be like borderline bubble that might suck enough to get Arch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Giants are one of them.
Yeah. And if you're a quarterback, I mean, the Giants do have Malik Neighbors, so at least you know you have a stud you're working with, like, offensively.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you end up in Cleveland or Las Vegas, it's like, who are you throwing to? Like, Las Vegas has a nice tight end, sure. Jerry Jeudy is okay. Like, if I'm a quarterback, I'm like, shit, give me something better than that. So.
Right. No, I'm with you. That I agree with.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. Well, so who, on your guys' teams, the Rams and the Colts, who do you want your guys' teams to draft? Do the Rams? Oh, the Rams do have a pick. They're 26th.
I do, because he's not projected to get picked by them.
Mm-hmm.
And I get why, because they're projecting the Rams to take a tackle, which makes sense because if you're going to go for it again this year with Stafford, picking up a guy who could protect him.
Gotcha. Offensive line.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
If I were to say, like, I kind of would love to see the Rams do this, is I'd love to see them take Jackson Dart.
Really? Okay.
He's looked really good in his combine, and is some of his like just some of those workout videos you watch, like you watch him throw the ball at it. I think he's gonna be pretty good, but like, and so I would love for it to be like draft Jackson Dart, let him sit behind Matt Stafford, and I only say that because, like, if there was other quarterbacks that fell down that far, there's nobody. I mean, I think the quarterback above him is Shador.
Yeah.
Because I think it's Ward, Shador, and then Dart. There's a good chance that Dart goes early because the team's like, well, quarterback, like.
No, that's the thing with quarterbacks is, yeah.
But if he's still there when the Rams pick, I'm like, I don't know. There's part of me that's like, well, I wouldn't mind, but like I get the convention of saying, well, let's have the because right now it has him going 29th to the Saints, and it's like I can see them being but I also wouldn't be surprised if they did pick up like Jackson Dart or some other, like, if a major running back fell down that far, sort of thing. And
yeah,
I could see the Rams being like, well, you know what? We'll get a decent tackle in the second round.
Yeah,
like maybe not game changing, but decent. I mean, they're far enough. I feel like they're far enough in the first round. Like their pick is far enough down in the first round. Maybe just take a chance on the best player available rather than saying go for the offensive tackle or whatever, because
so like whoever's dropping or whatever,
you could probably still get a good quality or a similar quality lineman in the second or third round, because once you get out of the top like 15 picks, the offensive linemen that are available aren't surefire bets, if that makes sense, or aren't as surefire as you would want them to be. So anyways, that's my thoughts on the Rams. It's just, that's who I would honestly, if Dart was down that far, I would say pick him up.
Yeah. All right, I like that one. That one's spicy. What about the Colts?
I mean, I would love for them to get a quarterback. I think everything I've seen has them taking a tight end.
Okay.
Out of yes.
Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren.
Yeah, Tyler Warren. out of Penn State. However, I have a spicy pick.
Ooh, I like spicy.
That might fit
mm-hmm.
with my crazy GM in this love of second round picks.
Okay.
Hear me out. Late first round, maybe second round pick, day 2. Tyler Shuck might be the sneaky guy that they go and get.
Tyler Shuck. Who in the hell is Tyler Shuck?
He is a tall boy who is kind of fast and might be a Walmart Josh Allen.
Oh, Shuck. Okay.
Shuff?
Shuck. It's Shuck. It's pronounced Shuck.
Is it pronounced Shuck?
Oh, it is Shuck.
That is so weird. So from the quarterback from Louisville, 6'5". Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's spicy.
That's a sneaky quarterback pick.
Hey, I mean, right now, at least on ESPN, he's the 4th ranked quarterback after Jackson Dart. So, not bad.
Yeah, I'd rather not reload Jackson Dart as a USC fan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. I don't want to.
Well, yeah, it's because Lane
Jackson
Kiffin.
Dart was good for you guys. He left you guys. You guys didn't. Well, he left you guys because you guys were bringing Caleb Williams, but he was good in his limited time in LA.
Wait, he's a former Trojan? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was. He left when Riley came.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
He came in because you guys injured. You guys had an injury. Who was the quarterback ahead of him? He was a freshman.
Slovis, I believe.
Slovis? No. Slovis had already left for Pitt that year. No. It was maybe it was Slovis.
I'm 99% sure it was Slovis.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, depth chart.
It was Slovis. I'm 99% sure it was Slovis. Wait, was there a random quarterback? There might have been a random ass quarterback.
There's always a random quarterback.
But I could have sworn it was Slovis.
Always is.
I'm trying to remember.
I like that. Jackson, that one, Tyler Slough. That's the I like that. That's the spicy one. Mine's boring. I hope the Broncos get a running back.
Moss on your roster at that point.
Oh God.
It was Slovis. You're right. It was Slovis. Interesting.
Told you. I gotta hop off for 2 seconds.
Okay,
I think we're almost done anyways.
Yeah. Mine, I want the Broncos to get. I'm hoping that Genty drops to the Denver, but I don't think that'll happen.
Oh, I doubt that.
So,
honestly, if I were I just was way too oversold on Genty.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to make a spicy pick for a team that's not mine, I would honestly say I don't know. I'm trying to think who could use a running back. Genty's about as early as because he's the first running back off the board.
He will be, yeah, 100%.
And I don't know. I'd actually be surprised if this was correct because it has Genty going 10th to the Bears.
Yeah,
and I get a lot of these edge guys and these linemen on both sides of the ball. I get that they're very highly thought of talents, but you always know that one of these teams is going to be no, I want the best running back on the board.
Maybe the
it feels like that either happens or doesn't. I mean that sounds so, but it feels like there's years where all the picks are super sensible,
and then there are others where it's just what's happening.
The year, I mean, it ended up working out for them, but the year the Falcons took Bijan,
yeah,
it was they already had a pretty good running back room, and they were nope, we're not going to take this guy that you think we're going to take. We're going to take Bijan.
Yeah.
And it was okay. I mean, yeah, he definitely is an improvement at running back for you guys, but you could have improved more as a team overall if you took. I can't remember who they were projected to take, but it was you should have taken this guy.
Right, yeah. I don't know. the running backs are weird because some years, like last year, it looks like the first running back was taken in like pick 40, and then the year before there were 2 in the top 15 picks. So like, I don't know. I'm hoping one of the top 2 running backs falls to the Broncos. That's what I actually want. So we'll see. All right. Anyway, NFL. It's fun. You got anything else? I don't have anything else. Baseball sucks, so I don't know.
Angels keep losing, so I don't really care to talk about.
Yeah, the Rockies scored 11 runs today.
Angels are actually better than I expected them to be at this point in the year, but
you're 10-9, second in your division. It's not great.
Except once we played a real team like Texas, we were like, "Oh, hey, we don't know how to play baseball anymore."
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what team's bringing up the rear in the major leagues with a total of three wins? Rockies. Let's go. Yeah, 3-16. Our ownership sucks.
There's been some traction around here that Salt Lake might be getting a baseball team here in the next year or two. Yeah.
I guess would that
there's a chance Tampa Bay might be leaving because their
stadium situation is not great.
Keeps falling through and that's the one team. Like, if it's not expansion, that's the one team that could move to Salt Lake.
I haven't heard anything about expansion in baseball. Like basketball, sure, but I think it's
what's his name? Expect some people to talk more about this, but the commissioner has mentioned, like, I forget what his name is. But he wants like a team. Hockey. He wants Tampa. He said basically he wants Tampa Bay and
Manfred.
He wants Tampa Bay and Oakland to. He wanted like all that stuff to get settled before he expanded. And the talk is he wants like a team out east and a team out west to keep things like pretty balanced.
Gotcha.
And the thought process is the 2 teams that are the 2 cities that might get teams are Nashville and Salt Lake.
Yeah, I guess if you're gonna, those 2 teams probably make the most sense.
Salt Lake makes sense in the sense of travel because it would put like a nice like area between like the Bay Area and Las Vegas and Southern California, like there, and then it kind of connects you over to Denver and Arizona.
And it's like a relatively large market. I mean, they are able to support a basketball team and
the market's
a hockey
been
team,
really good with hockey and like they just every sports. I mean, even like their soccer teams.
Yeah, Real Salt Lake is crazy.
Really well attended.
They are,
even when they're bad. Like that's the one thing about living here in Utah is that's actually been kind of surprising because like I grew up in LA, so teams like 90% of the time, like the games were like, especially as an Angels fan, games were well attended, but 90% of the time it's either opposing
out of staters,
fans, or it was just for the people who are from California, it was just people who were like, yeah, I'm gonna go to a baseball game and chill.
Yeah,
it was just kind of like, yeah, whatever, kind of like it's kind of a cool hangout, like whatever. And it's like, but anyways, so, but like here, they're like, we've got a soccer team up in Sandy, Utah. We're gonna go watch the game, and I'm like, I like watching soccer, but I don't like want to go to a game.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather watch soccer on TV.
But like, anyways, so they do good support. That's why I think it could happen. It's just there's just word,
right? The rumors
possibly happening, but obviously it could. There's still so much stuff that needs to happen before it actually happens.
But 1,000%.
I think honestly, the owner might be using it as like a bargaining chip more than anything. He might be trying really hard to stay in Tampa and is just saying, "Look, guys, I'm in big conversations with Salt Lake over here. If you don't get me a stadium soon."
Yeah, and that's classic.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might just go out there. They'll build me a nice stadium out there. Like, and the funny thing is if you look at the plans for Salt Lake Stadium, it looks really nice.
Does it? Yeah.
I mean, it'd be so cool to like at the beginning of every baseball game, you do like one of those like jib shots where you like start off on the mountains in Salt Lake, and like pan down onto the field, and you're like, it's baseball tonight.
I mean, that's how we have in Denver, like
the
overheads. Yeah, hell yeah.
Rumble in the Rockies. Oh wait, that's Utah, and Colorado.
Yeah. Avs just scored, by the way. I think that's a good spot to leave it. We're up 3-1 on Dallas.
Not the Nuggets.
Yeah, that's true. The Avalanche just score.
Russell Westbrook scored for the Avalanche.
I mean, I'll take his energy. I love watching that guy play. He gets so much shit, but it's just chaos. It's all chaos, and he tries his ass off. And you know what? That's all I can ask for out of a professional athlete. I'm not gonna lie.
Lakers got destroyed.
Did the game go final?
22-point loss.
That's not great.
But we've all seen the Lakers have like series where like every game is a blowout, one direction or the other.
Yeah, that's how the Nuggets Timberwolves series was last year. 7 games, every game was a blowout.
We'll see. This could also still be a series where it's like Lakers in 5 sort of thing. But
100%. I mean, you have the second best player ever and Luka Doncic, so like you're in pretty good shape. You know, it's a good place to start, I guess.
Are you in agreement with me, second best player ever to Michael Jordan? Or are you talking Jokic?
No, to Michael Jordan. I'm not insane.
I was like, Jokic is really good.
Jokic is top 10 all time. He needs a couple more championships to be in the actual GOAT conversation. What
position do we consider Jokic? A center or a power forward?
He's a center. He's 100% a center.
He is on track, I think, to be at the very least the greatest center of all time, or one of the right there.
I think top 4. Because you have Kareem, you have Bill Russell, and then those are probably the 2 above him. And then you can start making arguments when you get to Shaq, when you get to Hakeem, when you get to Will Chamberlain, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, my conversation about Shaq would be interesting because I think Shaq, for the years that he was dominant, was
it was insane.
Of the most dominant, was probably the most dominant. I'd say the years Shaq was dominant, he was the most dominant player of all time.
Yeah, he was nuts.
If he could have kept that up for 20 seasons, we would be sitting here like nobody's going to be greater than Shaq ever. Except it was like a 6-year period, and then he fell off because honestly, it's partially because of like his size, but it was also partially because he was a lazy bum.
Yeah, it was the work ethic. Like
he didn't realize until later in his career, by the time it was too late, after he had injured himself enough times, where he was like, "Oh, Kobe was right. I needed to be working out."
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like
Shaq's talked about that. Is he says the thing was he could dunk and do stuff so easily. Yeah. He didn't feel the need to because he's like, I don't need to work out in the off season because I'm just gonna come in and push the guy over and dunk the ball. And it's like, no, Shaq, you need to do this for your longevity.
Yeah.
Like
it's similar to the kids in high school that don't study, get good grades, and then they go to college and get their ass kicked. Like it's a similar idea. It's so easy for him that he didn't have to improve his game. Like he did a little bit, but like, you know, you would think over 20 something, 18 years he'd learn to shoot a free throw. Like to me, that's like the telltale sign that they're not really working on their game is if their free throw percentage just stays flat and doesn't improve, especially if they're shooting like 50%. Like, come on. Everyone can figure out how to shoot a free throw.
Last thing before we go.
Yeah.
I will never understood how Shaq could, like, he would shoot, like, if he was shooting from, like, the elbow, he would have this normal shooting motion.
Yeah.
But the moment he went to do a free throw, he was like,
yeah, it was broken.
Fingertips on the ball, and
yeah,
and it was like, what are you doing? This isn't how you shoot.
What's funny is guys like they have different shooting motions, shooting free throws. Like you're allowed to jump on a free throw if you would like. Like you could take it like a normal jump shot. Just no one does. Like as long as you're not going over the line, you're good.
They used to actually. I think it was it Wilt? I think was the one that they said he did. Like they said, like they used to let them run up, like as long as you.
Oh, really?
The free throw
Interesting.
Line. And so one time he just ran up and dunked the ball. Just dunked, and so they came out with a rule like not like they didn't even wait till the offseason. They literally were just like no, you can't be just. I forget who they changed. Maybe it wasn't Wilt, but it was somebody like. Player who dunked ball.
That's hilarious.
Wilt Chamberlain in 1967.
That's incredible.
It says both Jim Pollard and Wilt Chamberlain had both dunked from the free throw line, and Chamberlain was able to dunk from the free throw line without a running start. So he didn't even need the running start.
Jesus
Beginning
Christ!
His from within the top half of the free throw circle.
Wilt Chamberlain was an alien. That's crazy. Yeah, so, I've never understood that. Like, go with the.
They came up with that rule. They were like,
well,
that's not fair.
Wilt Chamberlain broke so many rules. Like, he's the reason there's goaltending that exists because of him. I'm pretty sure that he is also involved in the defensive 3-second violation.
Did you know FIBA's rule for goaltending is different?
Yeah, it's incredible. I like it way better.
It's
once it hits the rim, you can swipe it off. Yeah. There is no cylinder.
It's like the ball may be the ball hits the rim and it's about to bounce in, and somebody's just like, nope.
Yeah. No, I think the FIBA rule is way better. I hate the goaltending rules in the NBA, but that's a whole other podcast. All right.
Maybe that's what we do one of these weeks is we just have our rules. Like,
yeah.
What rules?
Oh, I have some hot takes about offsides in soccer. Okay. We should do one of those.
Actually, that would be a good idea for because especially we're gonna get into the summer where it's just baseball.
Yeah, that's one for them. Then yeah,
Rockies, we might be able to.
Our team sucked, so yeah. All right. Cool. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you guys. Me and Specs will be live Thursday, probably during, probably midway end of the first round, and then next week maybe podcast. We'll see. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.